Hello. Happy Wednesday. They do tend to stick out, don't they? Hello, everybody. We are back to Chapter 3, for better or for worse. I think I've got this room figured out. This is just a test room, but I think it'll make the cut. So the idea is you'd enter from the base, the bottom here. And this could also be a decent split room of once you gain the dig ability, you can come back through here. Maybe this is the room where you split between the different directions. So it's outrun the carts. Plenty of leeway if you need to duck into this area first and take an extra cycle. Then you can come over here. There's a gear. There'll probably be an enemy running around here. Maybe two. Gear lowers these. But, the twist, you can't get back this way. You're not fast enough to get back this way. Aha. Ah, the log flume at Six Flags. You can jump up over the cart. Switch party members. Hop back down. And now you can get across on these guys. And so while you're up there, see, I love this gentle swaying that they do. That's done with actual physics even. And you can get into here and ride this little chute up into presumably an area of some description. But yeah, that's the idea. That's this room. We could make a whole room of just this, actually. Maybe not a whole room, but a challenge of just like swinging cart things. Now it'd be a little bit tricky if you're doing anything other than pure horizontal. The dancer. See, now it sounds like plot important of some very heavy game. So the way these scaffolding bits here are is there are invisible walls. You can't go in where the carts go, but there's nothing code-wise that these do. They don't actually spit out the cart or eat up the cart. Also of note is the 3D sound effects. Put on your 3D headphones now. And you should hear it moving across. Allie? What the heck? Allie's here. Allie, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Prat chat, prat chat, prat chat. How are the dinos? Alliesaurus. You know what? You popped into my head today, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, I remember now. Okay, bye. Dino Riot, no. It was, Dupu was saying, he was talking about having people's address, for sending out the swag from the charity drive. I never did get that coin. But I've got my coaster. That Dupu, yeah. And he was like, I don't want anybody's address. And I was thinking to myself, well, it's a good thing you don't know Allie. I like this little fade out effect for when it's like, that's useful. Absolutely. Enjoy your food. I promise we won't mess with your house while you're gone. So true. Oh, look at this. Look at this awkward. It's drawing the character in front of these foreground chains. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen at all. How do we fix that? One possibility is have another fade zone here. Syrup everywhere. That's the way it goes. So I could have like a little bit of a... It's a little zone here, a zone of influence. Okay, see that's reasonable. It's like when you are in the zone, you can't see the carts. Yeah, I'm experimenting with some geometry, and I will be the first to admit there's some artifacts. It is just a plane from Blender with some displacement applied in Blender. Okay, so it goes transparent. I didn't. I did a pass that was shade smooth, and it still had a little bit of weirdness going on. Oh, right, I need to actually... All right, watch out for the cart. Now, wait a second, hang on. It should be, where's my transparency effect? What happened to it there? I feel like something weird happened. We'll consider actually putting effort in at some point. It would be good to put in effort occasionally. Okay, so right now, yeah, now the chains are faded out. They still render, but it's like... I should move that up. That little zone of influence should be higher. There we go. Roll credits on campaign mode. Nice. Oh, yay. Evils. Now, what happened here? There was some kind of bug, it seemed like, where I was standing here somehow, and I don't know how it happened. Liari, welcome in. Okay, this seems good. This seems good. This little fade out business is actually quite nice. It's pretty hacky, but it works. Attention, I am now live. And so eventually you come back here with your new party member, and then you can go through here into wherever. Although that looks pretty bad right now. Why does that look so bad right now? Because these shadows. So to fix that, boom. Right? The black is leaking. There we go. Grungly decals are good. Now, what I don't love about this setup, and I will probably change it. What I don't love about this setup, oh, well, that's not. That needs to be back a little ways. What I don't love about this setup, I'm gonna get to it eventually, is that this creates a very awkward transition zone, because if you come out of here, then you arrive behind the bars, which, I mean, that's gonna happen, yes. But like, what if there was a slightly nicer way to do this? Like, what if you had to go through a left wall? Always, Fanning. Just force them outside the bars. I mean, yes, I can set the transition so that you just pop out right here. But it might make more sense for this to be like a one-way path. Pop out vertically. Like, you get behind a wall, and then there's a small hallway, and the hallway has an alternate exit point or something, so you don't have to go through that way or something. Or even maybe this room, when you pop through it, it's a one-way path. It's like, all right, you went through and you can't come back. Like, maybe it even spits you out here. And so you can go into this room, and then you're immediately stuck by a gate. Or not a gate, maybe even a vertical drop that you can't go up. Make it a slide. Slides are fun. See, that's what I'm doing with this here. It's not really a slide, but it's meant to evoke that kind of like gold mine, kind of flume, not log flume, but like, you know, like the sort of wooden aqueducts. What were they used for? Panning. Panning is happening. But yeah, this could just be a one-way. All right, everyone, let's bask in that 3D audio. Oh, there it goes. I hear it. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I like these little swaying carts. Hey, Mr. Mike, welcome in. Yeah, this has come a long way since last stream, I think. Because last time we were just working on the minecart logic. And admittedly, there's very little going on there. I like this nice slow swing, which implies very long chains, which is fun. Oh, let's find out. Oh, well, what would happen is you get hurt. And this still needs to be set up properly. So, bop. So normally, whenever you're moving around and you are standing on the ground, the player, every like few fractions of a meter, it sets that zone as your last safe location. So that when I have to reset you, for instance, from falling off a cliff, you reset back to your last safe location. Similarly, these spikes do the same thing. It resets you to your last safe location. The problem is that right here, now this is my last safe location on the tracks, which means it tries to reset me into the tracks, which is bad. I've got a way around that, but I need to make some edits. Because right now, you reset and then you get pushed, which is bad. We don't want you, yeah, you can get pushed out of the ground. But the idea is that should not be your last safe location ever. I want to set it up so being on the tracks means you're not in a respawn location. When you're on a cart, you just kind of like bump into the top here and just get scooted off, scraped off like a bit of grime. So our current reset logic is something called unsafe zone. If you jump from the cart to the abyss. Oh, Okay, so let's talk about that. Oh wait, how would you do? Oh, there is a way we can do that. Hang on, there is a way. All right, so we gotta make sure this works, because now this is actually relevant. So we need to land on the cart. Good. If the game detects that you are not on a static bit of ground, like you are on a character body, then it does not set that as a safe ground. That one at least I got right already. The idea that moving platforms are not safe ground. You cannot respawn on a moving platform. So this right here is almost good. It's almost good. Here's the problem. We're setting this just a single flag on the actor. The lizards! Duck! The problem is we're just setting this as a flag, true or false, which means if I had 2 unsafe zones set up, and I know just how to set these up, I think. We're going to put them on the minecart tracks. Like, we're actually going to attach them to the minecart track scenes. Unsafe zone. We're going to pop an unsafe zone on here. So how does this work? Collision shape. Okay, make that unique. Then it is wherever you initially spawn in the scene. The scene defaults to 000 unless you actually enter the scene from a room transition, in which case it is the transition entry point. The point where the player is actually generated. So this is I'm gonna make it unique again just to be sure, because I really hate accidentally messing with let's do that big, right? Okay, so this minecart track is now an unsafe zone, but here's the problem, and that is when the player, you can kind of barely see the collision lines here, as the player crosses the barrier into this second unsafe zone. So we enter the first zone and it says, okay, player, you are now in an unsafe zone. Warning, warning. Now if we jump, then it'll say, okay, you're in a safe zone, but you're in the air, so I'm not gonna set your location, but you are now in a safe zone above the zone. I land back down, unsafe. Jump, safe, back in the box, unsafe. Now, as soon as I hit this middle point between the two, entering this right zone says, okay, you are now in an unsafe zone, even though I already was. And then I continue walking fully into this box on the right. I have now exited the left box, and so the flag is set to, oh, you are now in a safe zone. Ah, well, now we have a problem. I'm not in a safe zone, but I did technically leave an unsafe zone. So we have this issue of what happens when these zones overlap or touch or are very close. That's bad. Hey, Bach. Welcome in. So we're going to save that. We're going to make that code still work by, instead of tracking, yes, I am in an unsafe zone, no, I am not in an unsafe zone, we're going to have an unsafe zone counter. We're going to increment it when you enter a zone, decrement it when you leave a zone. Boom. Now we can deal with multiple overlapping cart zones. It'd be great to be unsafe all the time, wouldn't it? I mean, these are the creases. These are the edges where speedrunners can do some very terrible things when they figure out how it works. But for the 99% player, shouldn't be a problem. All right, so we need an unsafe zone here as well. How do we do this one? Let's just do 2 boxes. Let's just do 2 pretty close to the right spot boxes. Or maybe more. We'll see. Oop, I heard a beep. What's that? I will do so. Not bedtime, right? Alright, I need to bring the blue walkie-talkie down. Be right back. Had the wrong walkie-talkie down there, apparently. Oh, thank you. This was that's a little bit of a void. It's a Christmas present from last year, I think. I rarely concern myself these days with what is pictured on a shirt. But this one is comfortable, which is important. There we go. Yeah, it's like once you're even touching it, you're good. And I don't think the cart can touch that. Oh boy. Uh-oh, this might be bad. Wait. Oh, it works! Ark, what's going on? Why is there a key door? Oh my god. Pixel, you are a wonderful person, and I value our friendship. Get ready to count it down. Here we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. We're doing it. This is such a beautiful rocket. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I can see a lot better from this one. Oh wow.
You really said the lava getting hanged.
Oh. The cloud barrier. There's our target over there. No, we're going the wrong way. Wow, you can really see the factory from up here. All right, here we go. All right, chat, I'm not gonna look. You have to direct me. Onward to the finish line. How we doing? We okay back there, everybody? I would love just a little itty-bitty easy fight.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
I need to get some whip crack in this music. Some, like, the really stereotypical Wild West movie soundtrack stuff. That'd be good. Maybe that's what we need. This needs these. And then we have to take these 3 and adjust. Looks good, looks good. There we go. So now they are successfully unsafe. Also, let's see, one of these. A jaw harp. It fits, right? It fits with the music. Don't ask me why I happen to have one of those on hand. Hi there, casual. Yay, it worked. Run! That's what I do, you know? I do show and tell. Show and tell. Perfect. Well, it kind of... Yeah, it can still graze me. It can still graze me. We need to adjust that. Okay, these aren't good enough. Increase size significantly. This one is like tempting to just do a whole. Well, it wouldn't quite work, would it? Maybe we do 2 here. Posy. Posy. Hello, Posy. Something more like that amount of wiggle room might make more sense. Okay. Posy. Posy. Extra cute. Yep. She had her grooming appointment today. Posy, do you want to come over here? Come here, Posy. Come on, Posy. The people want to see. Here, come on. Come on. Actually, I don't want you jumping on people. Let's just tilt the... There she is. Look at these fluffy ears. She is in full poodle mode. I never imagined myself having a poodle. She's so soft right now, like a carpet. She's like a bath mat. Just roll around on her back. She could just keep your feet warm while you sit on the toilet. You could just step out of the shower and step onto Posey. She's very, I mean, she is in a house with a small child, so she puts up with a lot. Good girl, Posey. Oh, you did good at the groomer, I assume. You're pushing me. Why are you pushing me? I wanted to be over here. Good girl. Look at this poodle fro. Jeez, Posey. Give her a whole fruit. She's definitely more of a banana dog. I will explain it because it's a silly system that's probably overly complex, and it's because I'm expecting myself to be lazy. But I will explain that in a bit after we dote on this dog. Look at this dog. Can we get the camera even closer to Posey? Can we have even more Posey happening? Come on, Posey. The people want more. No! Oh, she's gone. Obviously, camera shy. Alright. She must be exhausted. Posey's off for a mosey. Alright, I've not forgotten the question. We will discuss the stupidity of this system I've made. Let me get before I forget, I want to make sure that we got a nice wide zone. Whoa! 5! Okay, so if I stay on this, good. Now how close can I get? Come on, spike me. Spike me. Spike me on the inside corner, perhaps. Oh, it's put me all the way back there. That's good. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah, it's put me pretty far back now. That's good. That's what we want to see. Now, that does mean that if you do this and then, whoops, I fell off, you're going all the way back here. And that's good. We want you to be back in the most recent, definite safe zone. All right. Ribby's question is, how do we get the cart to follow a line across multiple different cart tiles? So these cart tile objects, these are there's two parts to this. I mean, there's the mesh. There's the visible bits of little scenery that makes it look like a cart track. But then the thing that actually does anything here is this Path 3D. So this Path 3D is a curve object, which is pretty powerful in Godot. The curve one makes it a little bit more obvious. So it's this little arrow line going here. So the code is very dumb, but it does make sense. So we've got this one bit of code handles cart movement as well as cart spawning mechanics. So for every recurring cart, there is a single handler for that. So for instance, I might have a length of track that is going to have a cart every 4 seconds for as many will fit. That is going to be one handler managing that. In this case, for this scene that we've been looking at, we have 3 cart spawners. One for the front cart, one for the middle cart, one for the back cart. It's a silly system, but I think it's easier than trying to maintain an extra layer of code of like, well, see this one, it spawns a cart, waits half a second, spawns a second cart, waits half a second, that might be silly. So what this code does after it spawns the cart, it just keeps track of it. It keeps track of all the track pieces. So when this cart spawner readies up, we grab all the track pieces in the scene, which we do that by assigning those to be in a group called cart tile. Every frame, we iterate through our cart objects. The cart object is both a single cart entity and a special node type in Godot called a path follow. Now, what makes a path follow so useful, here's an example of one, is you can give it a distance along a track, like how far along the track has it gone? Half a meter? Oh, well, that will put you right here on this curve. What about 1 meter? Ah, well, that will put you exactly here on the curve. And it can be very smoothly done, right? Until it reaches the end, at whatever point that is. Additionally, you can do progress ratio, so you can do it on a scale of 0 to 1, where 1 is the end and 0 is the beginning. Okay, undo all that. So, what I do is the cart starts on a single track. It moves its personal path follow node, so it's got like its own little path follow node that it's keeping track of. It moves that into that track's path and starts incrementing it every frame by whatever delta speed. And as soon as it recognizes that it has hit a progress ratio of 1, then it knows that it is done with that track. Now, at that point, how does it find the next cart track? Well, this is where it does something kind of dumb. Let's say it's the end of this one right here, cart tile straight 5. It gets to the end of it. What does it do? Well, it looks for the cart track whose global position is at the point where the previous path ends. And because I already have a list of cart tracks, that's not hard to iterate, as long as I don't have a ton of actual functional cart tracks. Dumb system, but for what we're doing, good enough. My original idea was going to be, we're going to have a single path object created for this track, and that would make it nice and smooth and easy to follow the path. But the two things that put me against that, one, I want to have cart switching, which means that every once in a while the path is going to change. And when that happens, I don't want for the carts that are already past the junction to like abruptly teleport to the new path. No, and I've got good reasons for that as well. One is that I'm really bad about keeping these nodes in reasonable order, and I'm going to be like moving things around and duplicating and all this other stuff. The other reason we didn't go with the single path 3D is because I want the ability to just like drag and drop these tiles. I was looking at like, oh well, yeah, if I make the curve look nice, you know, if I get the in and out of each path point to follow the curve, then that'll be pretty reasonable. But I'll have to make sure I don't mess it up. And then I was like, oh man, every time I want to change the path of this cart, not only do I have to move the tracks that represent it, I'm also going to have to readjust that spline curve. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm too lazy. I'm going to be too lazy for that. Performance-wise, single path would probably be better. I could probably come up with a decent solution for the cart switching tracks. But the versatility, the ability to easily change the layout is so huge. Like, if performance is a problem, then after we finalize the track layout, then we can kind of optimize it by making it a single path. How do we make sure the end and start points are in the same position? Excellent question. The answer is something that I'm a bit of a stickler on in Godot, which is when I am moving these modular tiles, I hold Control, which snaps it to the grid. So it's always going to... The closest it can be without being perfect is a meter away, and that's very obvious. Now, if I ever didn't do that and I did this and just kind of eyeballed it, yes, that would be a problem. Hopefully I don't do that. But yeah, with drag and drop, I just drag it into the parent node or duplicate from the existing scene and then move the resulting tile around. So that hasn't been an issue for me. Now, it'll be pretty obvious because the cart will just delete and just disappear. And that would be a pretty easy bug to spot, I think. Okay, I think this room is decent. Why do I need the cart tile array? Are you talking about this node that contains them all? Like this right here, this list of... Oh, you mean in the code. You mean in the code. Why do I need the cart tile array right here? Because it's more performant. To grab the list of... It would be really bad if I said, hey, find any node in the entire tree that is at this position. That's actually kind of slow. But if I say, find a node from this limited group of like a dozen nodes that's at this exact position, yeah, that's much faster. Yep. So that one's a performance thing. Wait. Why am I seeing... Am I going crazy? Let me see that again. Exactly, yeah. It definitely has some weird things, like there would probably be some jittering when it transitions between the different... Okay, so look, I can definitely see it right now. I'm in the zone. Why does it think I'm not in the fade zone? This is supposed to be... This big slide here is supposed to fade out. Admittedly, I just wrote this code a few minutes ago, so it may not be accurate. Let me check the logic on this. Current remote view says I am in the fade zone. It says I'm in the fade zone. Okay, great. And that it is visible. Well, why isn't fade out getting called? Timer is definitely greater than 0.25. I am in the fade zone. Oh, is this backwards? I think my variables are backwards. Fade out is visible. Is visible starts as true. Good. If I'm in the fade zone, then fade out. And then when I'm not in the fade zone, fade in. Right. Oh dear. Well, now it's doing the inverse. Fade out. Set transparency. Ah! This is backwards also. Transparency. Not opacity. Transparency. It's the inverse. Okay, so now... So it was failing, but only the first time. That's what was going on. Okay. It was failing, but only on the first time that I hit that block of code. And it was because of that initial is visible flag was set to a state that was correct as it was written in English, But the code was wrong for that. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got it faded out until we come closer and then we can see. Yeah, that's a nice little fade. It's just barely opaque, just barely visible. This little see-through functionality going. I'm afraid so, Willow. Would I ever want these these like carts of coal or whatever? Ah, I can't get under this. Why can I not get under this? Also, what going on here with my fade zone? Posey did do a meet and greet. It's true. Oh, this is overlapping fade zones, isn't it? Probably. Probably overlapping fade zones. Yeah, so only in this one little area there's a problem with that. So we need to... There we go. I want to make sure that you don't have that same issue here. There is Posey in the Discord at least. So don't worry about that. Okay, why can't I get under the minecart? Because I want this to be a thing, a fun little thingy thing for when you have the digging partner available. 1, 2. Well, that should be plenty of room to fit under that solidity. Tell you what, let's just put a single spiky minecart out here. A single spiky minecart, please, waiter. All right. Let me get under this. She does look so stylish. So right now, yeah, it hurts. That also hurts. Can I get under it? I can't seem to get under it. Can't seem to get under it with Bennett Foddy. Dig collider. How big is this dig collider? Radius of 0.2. Ah, I thought it was a not a radius, but a diameter of 0.2. Well, I don't want to go any less than 0.2, admittedly. But that, okay, that does explain why I can't. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's quite close, though. Like, when you get down to it, that's very close. Do that. And then with the collision shape, just do that. And now you would be able to get under it, I think. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's do a little dig test. Getting stuck on something, though. What? I'm under it, I think. But like, oh, uh-oh. I'm getting scooted around a bit. I'm getting awkwardly scooted. Is this better? It does let me get under. Okay, yeah, there we go. Ow. There we go. So that could be a reasonable little puzzle to have kind of late in this dungeon. Is like basically a narrow corridor with minecarts coming at you, and you have to time your. Whoops. Time a little better than that. Gotta time your digs to sneak under. Yeah, that could work. That's pretty fun. All right, yeah. Cool. Get rid of this test minecart now. All right, we have a room. I don't think it's gonna be final, mostly because of this right here, but we'll see. Cool. What were these big... Okay. Wild West gold panning. Shoot. It's like a shoot. A sluice. How do you pronounce... This word has confounded me since I played Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube back when it came out. And this won't be the last time, but it's definitely not the first. Sluice. It's just sluice.
Sluice. Sluice.
Wait.
Sluice. Sluice. Sluice.
There's a slow mode.
Sluice. Sluice.
Sluice. Anyway, sluice. Let me look up some images of gold panning sluice. Okay, so that implies that there wouldn't be as much of a reason to have this, like, coming down from... Well, where would you get the water, right? I'm trying to build these dungeons vaguely... like... What would be the word? It's not realistic, but I guess consistent? I'm gonna look up some images. Historic sluice. Here we go. Here we go. Wikimedia Commons here has a nice image of a sluice. See, like this. This is what I'm going for. Kind of vaguely. Like, what else would this chute be? I don't know. Let me look up coal chute and see if that's a thing that makes any sense. They're not mining coal here, by the way. No, not really. There wouldn't be a coal mine chute. It's like, surely they're just taking it out in the carts. The coal is just a byproduct of the mining operation here. Okay, see, I was thinking like, okay, yeah, water comes out of here. Maybe. Like, maybe there's a... Like, maybe you go into a big cylindrical, like, tank. An empty tank. And then you're... Maybe we do have a little bit of a water pumping puzzle, right? That could be interesting. Or maybe we save that for outside in the first hex room. Because we're planning on using that puzzle, like, over here-ish. Of, like, go to one room, turn on the water, go to another room, another tile, and that's where you walk across some floating stuff. I don't know the details there. Sluice. 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 All right, so where do we go from here then? What's coming down this chute into a big pit? Why is there a pit here? What's this pit for? Why do we have a pit? Where's the pendulum? Obviously, we want to get to more minecart fun. What's the big puzzle? What's the big puzzle with this dungeon? All these dungeons always have like one main overarching thing. But like what? Because the first dungeon was definitely like the gate puzzle. Like, oh, you have to. It's this idea of like you have to return to a room and do something different than you initially did. So it kind of reuses some elements. So here. Okay, we have to remember the main gimmick of this dungeon, the main mechanic is you're going to be getting a new ability to ride up rails. It doesn't work right now. Maybe I should work on fixing that so we can kind of tune that to the dungeon a bit. Let's see if we can fix that up. I haven't messed with that in a long while. Oh, geez. Remember this one? Yeah, there will be rail switching. Guiding carts, possibly. I do want to have some kind of puzzle where you have to be like, okay, I need to switch the tracks so that I can get through here. Because right now the carts are in the way and I can't get by because the carts keep coming. So I have to switch the tracks so they go the other way. But now you have a new problem of, oh, but now I need the carts over here to get up here. Uh-oh, what do I do? One of those moments of like, I want to lead the player to an obvious solution that is wrong and give them that moment of like, oh, I see what I can do here. Ah, haha. Once they interact with something, it kind of becomes apparent what they're actually supposed to be doing. Okay, that's just that. That works fine. It's this right here. So this is gonna crash. And I don't remember why. Target camera rotation doesn't exist anymore. We rewrote the camera logic. Okay, so I understand now why we wanted to do a camera bend. That will be a mini game that comes after. So you're actually going to come to this dungeon twice, but the second time you're going to explore a whole different half of it. That's. I think it should be mechanically disjointed, but maybe visually you'll pass through some of the same areas, but you won't be able to like jump ship and move into the other spot. So it'll be like you'll see the same landmarks within the dungeon, but from different sides, perhaps. But there won't be any interconnected puzzles. It's it's two dungeons that just happen to exist in the same area. There'll probably even be some visual differences. There definitely would be some puzzle differences, because the second time you come in, you're going to have the dig ability. Okay, so the idea here is we have a path. So the path shouldn't loop, right? That's the first thing I notice. Gear track. Okay, so it's this. Path 3D. Player follower should not loop. in this case. So that feels like that would solve a lot of the problem. Okay, but yeah, a camera thing would be nice. How does the camera zone work with a target rotation? Camera handler adjust rotation. That's how. So we're gonna say 30 degree, half a second, and then back. Now this move right here is going to shift as the game goes on. Like, it's gonna start with this very basic, you can attach to this gear. Oops. Camera target on gear track. Gear track has no camera target. Okay, we'll do that. It's going to start with just movement, and all you can really do is control whether you're moving forward or backwards on this gear track. Later, I'm going to add some kind of mid-track dismount where you can kind of spring off of the track and immediately latch into another one. And that's going to be its own little special move that's going to be cool and neat, because you'll be able to, like, I'm picturing two parallel tracks that are like both going vertically, and you're like going up and then across and then up and then across. Specifically what comes to mind is this one bit towards the very end of Mario Odyssey where you're doing that with Yoshi. You're like going up a wall, like there's a conveyor belt wall, and you're riding up it, and then you have to spring across to avoid some obstacles. How do we get out of this now? How do I dismount? I never wrote the code for that, maybe? Also, what's the deal with this path? Why is it all rotatey? I guess I want it to be kind of rotatey, but like, oh, tilt. I think I was just playing around with tilt. Okay, then sure, it can tilt, I guess. But like, how do you detach from this? How did I decide on that? Cancel? How do I cancel out of this then? How do you cancel out of a regular gear spinner? That should be what I... Oh, cancelable, true. Well, then why can't I cancel when I try to cancel? What is this? This is... Track spike, bright lock, gear track, Gear track, okay. But that doesn't have any script attached to it. Okay, gear spinner. Gear spinner. Is this gear spinner that I'm attached into? I can't actually tell. It's been a long time since I wrote this code, unfortunately. All right, so player, I want to look at player. Gear, oh no, player manager, gear spinner, there we go. So if I attach here, hello. There we go, gear spinner is now an object. Until I pop out. Boom. Now gear spinner is empty. Attached to this. Gear spinner is now an object. Gear spinner is now empty, but I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck forever. So true. See, I release games. And something manage him. Okay. Why can't I move from this after attaching to it? Is player attached? I'm setting my position back to the track lock. Player should no longer be attached on detach here. Not bad. We got a decent little test room here for our Chapter 3 dungeon. Complete with all kinds of fun things. Like minecarts. Always a classic. Got this new little fade in, fade out thing. That's not automatic. I have to manually define which elements fade and in which areas they fade. And it's a big, like, hanging carts of coal or something that you can jump across. It's gonna be fun. Nice little slow moving platform, but not just a floating moving platform. I've praised Tropical Freeze a lot, but one of the things I love the most is how so many of its like floating platforms are not floating, they're attached to something, and it's never the same thing. They do a great job of keeping things unique and kind of giving a reason for these platforms and hazards to exist. Like, if there's a platform that's like moving back and forth on a schedule, like some kind of timed oscillating platform, it's never just like, it's a Mario platform that moves left and then right. Whoa. No, it's like, no, there's some like gear system attached to it, and you can actually like follow that into the background and say, oh, it's that little waterway is like, it's pushing the gears this way, and then the water is pushing down the other way. It's going this way. It's so good. It's so good. It's criminally good. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Okay, so now you can slap into it and then slap out. Yep, that looks good. Now, can I not do this in the air though? It's saying no to letting me do this in the air. I want it to let me do it in the air though. I want it to let me do it in the air. So let's close some of these extra bits of code that we don't need anymore because we fixed those. Okay, release gear spinner can only happen here, and this code should be allowed Is spin pressed? Gear spinner cancel. Release gear spinner. So this should work, right? Let's see what's going on here. Which block of code is not getting called properly here when I do this? Okay, it's not calling release gear spinner. So right off the bat, we know it's not here. Horse spinner. Oh, well, this one's getting called all the time. Oh, hold on now. Gotta wait for these log messages to catch up. Geez, you really shouldn't log something every frame, huh? I did not. This was made by one of our community members, Casual, who was in chat a bit ago, but I think they have stepped out. Some of the tracks for this game I made, but a lot of them were made by Casual. No, I'm not getting that. Is spin pressed? Nope, we're not getting that log. Okay, so that's the problem then. Is spin pressed? Where does is spin pressed come from? Comes from base actor, and let me guess, it can only happen if you're on the ground. Yep. Okay. It is good. It is good. I specifically asked for Wild West music. Actually, let's take a listen here. Stop. At some of the other Wild West tracks we got. Not this one. Not this one. Oh, this one is going to be the theme for the gold mine, or, you know, whatever, the mines. It's a little bit Donkey Kong Country. Which I specifically called out Mines Melancholy from DKC2. I know, right? I just pointed him like, listen to the introduction of this mine music from Donkey Kong Country 2. Do that with the percussion. Other than that, go nuts. And so that's what we'll have here for the music in this area. Here go the carts. Whee. Anyway, so that's that. What else do we have? Some other stuff that's kind of spoilery. Mid-boss theme. Actually, this Chapter 3 is going to have, like, multiple mid-bosses. You might be seeing something going on there. It is a dumb gag that all started in somebody's Silk Song stream. And it's gonna stay there until, I haven't decided how long it's gonna stay there. Maybe until that person notices it, because it would be really funny. here's our problem here. Is this is spin press is not working for us. See, this is spin pressed is silly. Like, it should be... Okay, so there's 2 places. Okay, let's move this code. This is spin pressed business. We're gonna move this out of here. All right, let's go back to the regular music tracks here. I wrote this one. I didn't do the instrumentation. All right, stop with the minecarts. All right, we're moving is spin pressed out. It's leaving here forever. So it happens only if this and this, for some reason, and is on floor and not forced movement and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. So we're gonna do our own little mini is spin pressed, which is just gonna be based on this and this, except it's not self, it's player object in this one. Okay, so we're getting rid of that. Okay, so this code is done. That's gone. So now it's just the is on floor business. And not is forced movement. Okay. Can't be in forced movement mode. Forced movement mode is like when the player is entering a room and the player is automatically walking to a certain point, kind of walking on screen. Or a cinematic is moving the player automatically. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, ba, ba. So if all of this and player dot is on floor, then we can do this. Is been pressed. And now we can also do, okay, we need to move that further up. Then we can also do right here. We're going to do this without the whole floor business, and that should let us detach while on a track. Yes, but we just need a little nap here. Sometimes Dabble just needs to lay down for... Oh, we could get him upside down, couldn't we? Well, yes, but... Okay. Great. Cool. We're upside down. Transform origin. That's the rotation. Follow target. Global position. Track sprite. Ah, here we go. Here we go. This right here. Sprite rotation override. What is sprite rotation override? It needs to be set back to null. So when we detach, just set that back to null and we are in business. Or not. Oh, well, that was close. Hey, what gives? I fixed my track, my sprite rotation override. Okay, I guess that's not enough. It's the sprite 3D rotation. Ah, here we go. Sprite 3D dot rotation can be overridden, but normally we're just going to set the rotation of X and Z, as some would say. It's funny. It's funny to me. It makes me giggle. There we go. And you can plot back down, and we're good. Okay, so this is going to be invisible, these two meshes. They're just markers for this. So the idea is like you could kind of be going back and forth to avoid obstacles as you are kind of working your way across a track. Oh, but I want to make sure this feels good on controller. Because with controller, if anything, it feels better on controller. Controller, you're actually like rotating clockwise to go forward, counterclockwise to go backwards. And so it feels a little bit more loose, which is nice. And it feels like you might be able to like really, well, there's a max. Really Mario Party it, you know? See, now that's a little bit silly. So we do want to make sure that it would be, this is just going to have to be something that we're responsible for in designing these areas, is that the tracks, when they go upside down, you don't want to be able to attach to them upside down, because that just looks weird. We want to make sure that anywhere the track lands is nice and solid. Even if that means having two overlapping, almost identical tracks. That's fine. If that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. Next thing we want to do with this, which would be nice, is have some way of making don't need this, don't need this. I want like a CSG polygon set for following, set to follow the path. So I want it to be in path mode, following the path. Yeah, like that kind of. But much smaller than that, of course. Probably smaller than that as well. How does that look? Oh wait, I haven't saved it. How does that look? Yeah, that's too big. So maybe like this. better. Change the path interval to like 0.2. I guess make it smooth faces. Looks great, looks great. But now I want it to be... So, we've got this recurring theme for Leon's things. Anything that Leon can attach to is bright orange. We'll blend it in some way or another, but like his stuff is bright orange. Actually, you know what would look really good here to go with this is a CSG box. Always a CSG box, isn't it? It's always a CSG box. Do this and then give it this material. And then boom, now it kind of, it's like, oh yeah, it's a, I don't know what it is. It's a wooden something. What is it? Some kind of support beam for some reason. Why is there a support beam here? I don't care. It doesn't matter why. There is one. Deal with it. Now it looks, now there's a reason for there to be a big orange pole there. It's for support. See, blends in a little better. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But it's bright orange is the idea. It's bright orange, which your mind tells you, oh, that's a Leon thing. I can use that. Maybe I should replace it with a hook. Like an orange hook that lowers along with the big carts. And that way you can't go back until you find the gear. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna interact with it. Is that too dumb? I don't want to make the player feel like they're being really babied or anything. And yet. Okay, so this polygon, let's try a material. Nope. Would have to be a vertical material. Okay, so like this, kind of like this, but maybe make the UV a little bit more compact. More. Like, what's that gonna look like? I don't think I want it to be round. But I do want it to be metal? Like, it's almost zebra stripes, but it's meant to be like gear teeth or something. I don't know. Stripe vert. Let's look up the stripe vert file we have here and see about editing that a little bit. I also have a thin stripe. This feels like a pretty thick stripe though. Do I want the thin one? Eh, maybe. This might be okay. Well, like I could do this and then just I don't know, maybe I want this, but I want less thin than that. I want it to be like 50-50, I feel like. So vertical stripe. Vertical stripe looks pretty 50-50. Like the white stripe is like a little bit bigger. And yet here, it looks like significantly larger. I'm not sure exactly why, but that's fine. Let's increase the metallic and decrease the roughness. And yeah, let's change the layout here a bit. Drop this and this. And now we get this shape, more hexagonal. Do I want it to be just a box? Just a nice straight line, but smooth. Let's get rid of the smooth faces. Let's make it nice and crisp. Okay, how does that look? Okay, I'm not quite lined up with it, unfortunately, somehow. Somehow I'm like way too out there. So I would need, wait, but is it because, hold on, let's not jump to any conclusions here. Ooh, this is not good. Okay, so polygon needs to be top level, I think. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's still not really gonna fix what we're seeing with latching in, but yeah, we kind of approach it in such a way that that's where we line up. So we need to move the path follow, the player follower. There's the gear track here. That's already pretty far back, but it needs to be less far back. Okay, so let's load it up again, see how that looks. Reattach. We're still in the same spot, aren't we? Okay, so that wasn't the problem then. Player follow. Let's load this on again. Let me see these. Okay, yeah, that's not what I'm actually locking into, is it? Or is it? I don't know. Maybe. Let's try moving it out. What's this one at the bottom here? That's the one that's following me, I think. Yeah, it's the player follower. Why is it? Why? I don't know. Player location checker. What even does that do? Path 3D, player location checker. This is what is curving. Get closest offset business. Okay. All right. But then the player's position is going to the track sprite lock, which is the mesh here. Okay, so if we move that out, so this can be moved back. It's this that needs to be moved forward. That looks a lot better for how this path business works. And then, of course, the big question is, well, what if we do some crazy path tilting craziness here. What then? Why is my polygon not refreshing? I don't know. I don't know why. It's fine. Does this work? Does this work? With the, I want it to be able to spin around the track. Yeah, he seems like he's following the track pretty well. Okay. I'll call it a win. I'll say we got it. I'm not sold on the look of it, but it's probably fine. And then basically all of this can be hidden. This might get special treatment or something. We'll see. Now, if I had a second one of these, say over here, can I editable children, make unique, mess with path? Yes, I can. Good. That's what we want. That's going to mean that we can have unique paths for each part of the game. It probably needs to follow the camera probably needs to follow the player up when they are attached to this. Currently, camera follow. Gearspinner.camera target. Maybe? Maybe. No, there's something on the player, on the normal player code. Camera focus. Here we go. And this says that we follow the player all the time at a lerp ratio. But when we scroll the camera up and down, that only happens if the player lands on something solid. So we need to adjust that to say that we also want this to match if blah, 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 blah. Now we can do that with this. Today, we're looking for gearspinner.camera target. So I think all we need to do is say var camera target equals null, and then process camera target is the player. Will that work? Let's find out. No, it did not work. Okay, why not? Gear Track 2 does have a camera target. But what? All right, prove it. Prove that you don't have a camera target. Oh, it's not hitting this code. It's not hitting this code at all. Because why? Start lock into gear zone? Didn't... No. Okay, well, where's that one going? Oh, that only happens on gear. Okay. Okay, okay. So that one's different. Should I use the same code here, or probably not? Probably not. But this can happen here. I can say anytime you lock into a track, lock into the player. And then, is there a, And then gear track can have, well, maybe I could do it on attach here. Maybe that's a smarter way to do it, is let this code manage that. And then set it back to normal. Okay. Oh dear. I might have broken something. I might have broken something. That's fine if I did. Okay, this is good. But then when I let go, it's bad. Because we're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be release, set new target. Oh, no, it's always player, huh? That doesn't make any sense, though, does it? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. How do you reset the camera target? How do we do that? Oh no. Has there been a bug the entire time? Has there been a bug the entire time? There might have been a bug the entire time related to camera logic. We can find out at South Frogtown. All right, so check this out. So right now, when I jump, the camera does not follow me up. It only follows me up if I land on a solid surface. Like that. You see it kind of like whoop, popped up to me. When I'm going down, however, it will follow me down. It's harder to see. I can go slow motion. You can see the camera starts dipping down once I pass that plane of wherever I jumped from. But if I'm reading this code correctly, we have a bug, which is whenever the camera latches onto something else, such as entering a building, causing the camera to latch to the center of the building, then now the camera code might be broken. No, it's still working fine. Well, then what was I seeing there? Well, wait. Building.gd. On exit. Here we go. Camera handler, revert to default target. That's what I should be using for gear track. Not set new target null. Because I think that's actually, yeah, invalid. Revert to default target. Okay. Never mind. Everything was actually fine. Okay, so now the camera actually follows us when we're on these weird little track pieces, and then when I pop off, camera goes back to normal. We may... So this is going to be the ability you get in the Chapter 3 dungeon. So we need to make sure that there are some things to do with it to let the player see, like, oh, this is, oh, okay, yeah, all right, I see what you're going for here. Okay, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. So we're finally making this stuff work. It's important. The 30-degree camera twist, or the 45-degree camera twist we do may not be required. Like, what if instead we just tilted the player? It's like, obviously the reason I'm doing that is because if I don't do that, then we run into a pretty severe problem. Which is, where is the player? So maybe we just give him a slight twist, a slight chameleon twist. He vanishes by turning sideways. An impressive display. Which of these meshes controls his... It's this one right here, I think. So if I just say... Beep, and also a little bit... Yeah, let's go ahead and give him 2. Let's make it a nice 30 degrees. So true, so true. Okay, so now... There we go. Okay, you can at least see him. Though it is a bit of an awkward... It looks weird and stretchy here. It looks weird and stretchy. And I'm not sure I love it. I feel like it might have been better with the camera bending. It's hard for my brain to see like which way he's twisting, you know? I mean, well, what about just like this? Oh. Let's make sure I understand how far apart. Okay. Something like this. That seems to work pretty decently. And then when there's weird stuff, it at least makes a little bit more sense. The reason I want to allow this kind of crazy movement, FYI, is because I want to eventually be able to do like this. Maybe not quite that drastic, but like I want to have some little set piece in the game that does one of these. Whoa, whoa. Where you're like twist around and it's like, oh, wee, he's doing so cool. Oh, I just got a notification from Twitch that it's almost time for my streamiversary. Your streamiversary is coming up in 2 days. Start planning today. Ah. So there's like some window, right? I can celebrate it. Okay, I can target a date. How far out can I go? Oh. Okay. Oh, and then I can schedule the... Oh, here we go, here we go. I can schedule when the anniversary stream is going to be. Oh, by default, it's going to be scheduled for the 18th. Is that what we want to do? A day of Factorio. Oh, Mac, no. Trying to make me do terrible things. Okay, I think this is pretty good, except I go too far. Like, the path follow does correctly end... Oh, this poor guy. The path follow does correctly end. But... the track needs to go, like, farther... How do we make that happen? I could just set a maximum and say no, you can't go past a certain point. What controls this? This whole spin. Speed. Here we go. Progress. I can just cap the progress. That wouldn't be too bad. So we just say, yeah, I'm fine with that. Max progress. We take the curve, and there's like a get baked length. Progress equals clamp. Clamp it to the max progress. And then we're going to subtract... or no, let's change max progress to track length. And then track length minus 0.5, let's say. What are we going to do for an affiliate versary? Yeah, that works pretty good. 0.5 seems to be fine. We need the partner to do something to, like, not get in the way of things. Now, the gear spinner is this box right here. And you can see here that it kind of is following all this way down. And I don't want to be able to interact with it. So when a gear lands you upside down, it needs to be like a solid dabble and a half up from the ground. All right, so let's build our first gear track. Pikmin. Pikmin out of nowhere. All right, we're going to see how this looks here. Okay, so we can adjust the curve by just doing make unique. So we'll have these like pole. I don't know what they're gonna be. What we're gonna call these here exactly. These don't worry about it. Why is it rotated this way? Is this one also rotated this way? No, this one is definitely not rotated, but the gear spinner is in the back. Okay, and that's just how it's supposed to be. Gear spinner is supposed to be in the back. So take the path, and now we can say, well, you see the second point is actually up here. And then this third point is here. Actually, we don't have to do this. We can just do like this. There we go. So you'll see this, and hopefully you'll just be like, ah, that's some kind of interesting decoration at first. Until you actually get the ability, and then you're like, oh, okay. Whoa. And there you go. That's how you get out of it. Why does it say that that's the closest? That's wrong. Hopefully that doesn't end up becoming a problem. So yeah, we'll need to come up with some good way to kind of make these blend in a bit. Okay, we can get rid of the little helper art. But yeah, so now when you come back to this area with your digging partner, you're like, oh, look, I can do this now. Whee! Pop off, and then now it's like you've made a shortcut. It's like you have a shortcut available. I think that's a nice thing when you get one of these abilities. I'm going to be sprinkling these everywhere in the early game as well, like behind Drain Pipe, that little area where you're going up a lot to get back to the city. In the first few chapters, every time you make that trip, you got to like go around and turn this gear to raise this platform. But this is going to be there the whole time. And then after you come back from chapter 3, you're going to see this and be like, shortcut. Got a shortcut now. Hey, now that I think about it, oh, this could go. Where does this go? Whoa. That's the idea. That's the idea. Okay. Also on Gear Track, I want this to be multiplied a bit, I think. I want the gear to spin faster. Yeah, there we go. I could make it do that. I could make it. Like the pitch. I can make the sound effect pitch based on your current progress on a scale of 0 to 1. So it actually tick, 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 tick. Let's do that. Let's do that. Placeholder Fox, it's you! I should have known! Dun dun dun. Hello, GQ. Hope you're doing well. Gear Track will have a sound effect. Base Gear Spinner has some kind of code to handle sound effect. Here we go. We look at the previous progress. We base that on how far it's gone. Okay. So we're gonna say, we're gonna have a sound effect progress monitor. Boom, 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 boom. And we're gonna say player follower dot progress. It's going to be the difference of these two. Absolute difference. And then if that is greater than 0. How far do you have to go to trigger a sound effect? 0.3, I don't know. Then update our progress variable and play the sound effect. But also, do some weird POW 12 something or other for the pitch. Here we go. This is how we do it. Pitch scale. Half step shift. We're just gonna do progress ratio times 12, I guess. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Oh, now this isn't great though. Or is it? It's probably fine. It just means the pitch will change differently. Ah, that's fun. Visible rotation is backwards. There we go. The gear was, I noticed the gear was spinning the wrong way. That's fun. Let's actually reduce that pitch by 12. Multiply by 2, make it go 2 octaves. No, we'll stick with 12, but we're gonna reduce it by 6, so it kind of centers at 0. There we go. This is gonna be a new ability, though. So we want to make sure that this is actually locked behind game manager such and such. So how do we do that? How does player attach to gear? This is where I need to put in the code that says you have the ability to do this. Here we go. This one right here. Get abilities. Track. So if you attach to a gear track and you have the gear track ability. Okay. So now in Game Manager, let's make sure that that is attached here as a new unlockable ability. Additionally, because we are doing things with this move, we are going to say gear track is available right now. as well as charge gear. All these are available. And what's that? You need even more code changes? Well, you're in luck. It's in the debug thingy, right? Get out of here, Windows 11. I don't know. No. Where's our debug menu? Here we go. Can use gear tracks. There we go. Now we've added it to the debug menu so that we can unlock it as necessary during testing. Like non-local testing. Like beta branch testing. The player, or the partner. Rides on top of Dapple. Maybe. I don't know. Is that anything? Is that anything? It might be something. I don't know. Partner actor. Partner.global position equals player.global position plus up times half. Sure. How is this gonna work? How is this possibly gonna work? Okay, I mean, that's... Okay, see, there's a problem right there. Yeah, right there. There's our problem. See, here it's fine and dandy, and here it's weird. Maybe we just hide them. Just hide the partner for a bit. It's like, where did they go? But it's fine. Also need to be setting their velocity to 0 so they don't just suddenly pew. Tried to sneak past it. Wasn't fast enough. Yeah, that's probably fine. Maybe set him... just a little bit to the right. Just a little bit to the right. Okay, it works. New functionality done. We have a little bit of time left. I think we want a... Okay, I like the minecart mechanic. It's fun. It's very video gamey. Of like, hey, it's a platform, but also it can hurt. Notably, the big thing with it is that the amount of distance you can cover is vastly different going with the minecart versus against the minecart. And so I'm picturing a long room that's like slightly sloped upward or something, with like maybe 3 lanes of carts that are irregularly synced, that have spikes on the front, of course. So you're kind of trying to push yourself up towards the top of this hill, while dodging the incoming carts. Give you enough time to recognize when they're coming, make their speeds slightly different from each other so the pattern keeps being a little bit different as you go. What else? A little bonus treasure towards the top for if you come back with the digging ability so that you can get past this little... I mean, that doesn't have to be for that room specifically. That could be for any room that has carts. You just kind of push the source back further. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the puzzle. It's no puzzle. It's just platforming of just avoid carts. I think that's fun. It's Frogger, right? A Frogger room? Maybe? Actually, there's something to that. Have a variant of these tracks that don't have the wooden boards and just have rails over some kind of hazard or bottomless pit. And you're sort of slowly working your way across, maybe horizontally. Oh, there was one other mechanic I wanted to play around with in this area. A dark room where the minecarts provide light. And so you're not actually on the cart, but you are trying to change the track direction so that they will reveal the path as they pass by. And it's like there's like, I don't know, some kind of glowing something or other in a cart that actually emits light as like an OmniLight 3D object. Okay, let's get these jotted down then, because I don't want to lose it. I think I already had. Yeah, Frogger style cart crossing. I did do that. Dark room with lights and cart. Obviously, track switching as a puzzle is good. That doesn't have to be its own room. So yeah, Frogger style cart crossing is good. What's that little mobile game that all the kids love? Subway Surfers. Subway Surfers room. with the carts coming at you and you have to switch lanes and you're going towards the back of the room. That's good. That's an easy little challenge room that we can make that pretty easily, and it'll be fun. Especially if we add little secrets to jump over and grab. I don't think we need a puzzle, but it might be fun if we let you ride the cart back down a big hill. Maybe. What if? Hang on. How do the physics feel here? Jumping on these. That's weird because I thought moving platform, on leave, add velocity. It's supposed to add its velocity, but then again, the cart spawner Oh. No, I am setting the velocity. So, what is it that's keeping this from working? When you leave the last platform, velocity is applied. When you leave a moving platform. Does it not think I'm leaving the moving platform? Because it has velocity. I'm not using the velocity, but still. Let's look at remote here. Let's turn it on to slow motion here. Does the cart have velocity? Has position. Where would its velocity be under? Wait, where is its velocity? Do they hide its I can set its velocity. Character body velocity. Hello? There. Current velocity vector in meters per second. It is part of character body. Motion mode. Apply when there is no notion. All collisions will be reported as on wall. In this mode, when you slide, speed will always be constant. I wonder if that's what does it. If I change this to grounded, well, impossible to tell here. We'd have to change the base class here to be grounded. I wonder if that is it. Wouldn't that be silly? That doesn't feel like it's it. Well, no, it could be because... Right, I forgot about this. Because we have very strict velocity here. The game doesn't know if I'm getting velocity from my own movement or for something else. And I do have it set to be like very tight controls. So that when I release left or right, it stops me. So technically, because is that what's happening? Do I want it to keep the velocity? Oh. I'm not sure. What is the category? Show me the cat. Oh, come on now. Surely you guys can get this one. So what I was thinking about was, what if on the return trip, coming down the big hill, we rotate the camera 90 degrees and make it so that video, wahoo, and make it so you have to like jump over obstacles on the way down for a bonus at the end. That could be interesting. That could be something there. A little optional treasure. I've talked about this game before. There you go, Kirby. I really liked the power combination mechanics. I actually charted up a game to make using a similar sort of thing, but with more elements, like 8 elements, which is too much. And make it as like a huge kind of open Metroidvania, with the idea of like each ability combination can get you more options for how to tackle any individual problem, but some of them it's like, well, you can't get past this without this, or this. Find any of those and you can get past this obstacle. I was gonna make that like a Runaway Rabbit sequel. It was planned to be the 3rd Runaway Rabbit game, but I still haven't made the 2nd one, so that doesn't work as well, does it? After this game is done, I would love to go back and like remake some of those old games that I've made, but like better. You know, redo the graphics, sound effects, music, physics, UI, everything. And then just put them for free on Steam, because they're small games, but it'd be nice if they were, you know, available for people to play. Okay, no, we're not going to mess with the minecart business. You can write it down, but there won't be things to jump over. Dabble Dabbler. A Dabble double pack. And it's like, I know that I'm working on, like, this game is going to be not free, but I really like the idea of going back to doing free games after this, because I would love to just be able to just, you know, get more stuff on Steam that people can play, and like, look at this, I have games on Steam, you can just play them, enjoy, because it's not that much. It's not prohibitively expensive to put a game on Steam. It's like $100. That's hobby money. That's reasonable hobby money. 99, I think. All right, we should really plan out where these rooms go, but instead, we're gonna do a Mines Test 2 room. which is just, these are just not connected zones that we're just kind of plunking around here. So yeah, I'm thinking like a really long room, but narrow. Get rid of that. Get rid of this, that, this. All these supports, get rid of these. Get rid of this gear track for now. Camera control zone, probably. Oh, now there's a game. That's a good game right there. All right, so let's move this back wall back. Pretty reasonably far. Get rid of upper exit. Get rid of gate. I think we might want to increase the scale of this. PS1 category. I don't really know PS1 games. Alright, so do something like this. And it is basically a guessing game of things I know and am interested in. Don't know how long it'll take to walk that far, but we'll figure it out. I didn't have an Xbox either. I had a bunch of Nintendo stuff. Whoops, that's not gonna work. Because it's the cart spawner, right? No, it's the fade zones. They don't exist. There's nothing to fade out. Alright, so the idea is, see, this looks super awkwardly regular, and what in the world is going on with... Actually, I do know what's going on with that, don't I? It's this material. It's got backface culling, so it wasn't casting a shadow properly. Yeah, that looks way too regular. That looks better that way, but it's not great. Oh, why is it? Oh, man. Cool. All right, so let's move these out. Then adjust that. And now move them back in. There we go. Okay, so we got this little long tunnel here. A little bit dark, but we can deal with the shadows separately. And the camera issue by just not letting you get too close either way. Do we need to like drop these slightly? No, there's still like a little bit of awkward shadow coming through. That's easy. That's an easy fix. That's an easy fix. The whole point of this area, though, let's remember, is The carts. It's all about the carts. Okay, just like that. Get rid of these. Oops, got rid of too many. Get rid of these. We're just gonna be spawning spiky carts at a pretty decent speed. And then just down the road they go. Now, how long does it take to run up this length of distance? Because that's going to be a lot of it, is like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Kind of going to be dodging carts. That's a reasonable challenge, I think, this much. All right, fix this as well. Basically just by doubling the scale of it. Great, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Great, great, great. I don't know where the carts are gonna go at the end. They're probably gonna peel off in different directions. So this is a good starting point here. Is one over? Yeah, one over. We did decide that's enough, didn't we? I could scale this up and down, and then bring it down, and it'll be like one big thing, which is great. Okay, that looks fine. The hitbox is going to be very bad, so we're just not going to try not to let the player get too close to it. Great. Now I need the cart spawners. Right here. Center, and then this one over here. All right, we got 3 starting points for carts to be rolling down the track at us. So we just duplicate these, say this one is going to the left, and this one is going to the right. And now we just give these max carts, let's say 10 on each of these. And now we give them different seconds per cart. Enough so that they will occasionally line up, but they will be otherwise not lining up properly. So you get a full set, great. Can't do anything about that. But then once that passes, the real challenge oh boy. Ow. Okay, okay. And see, you get like an interesting pattern from simple rules here. We need to slow it down a bit though, to give them more time between. So how are we gonna do that? Right now we're doing 3, 4, 5, and that's seconds. Just multiply by 1.5 on each of these. All right, let's try that. And let's slow the carts down to 5. Okay, this is actually kind of cool. Now there's the tricky bit of the what do you do in this situation? We can't let that happen, can we? We need to make these... We need to make it possible to get through. Easy ways have a 4th track that's guaranteed to never be on sync with all 3 of them. Was it too easy? I feel like now they're too far apart. There are gaps here. Okay, let's change. Yeah, let's make it even weirder. The thing is, they're always eventually going to wind up the same, right? Like, eventually there's going to be, no matter what numbers I choose, there's always going to come a point where they all line up. You just multiply the numbers and that'll be the point, right? Unless you offset one of them, but they have the same frequency. So I think that's what we have to do. So what does that look like? Also, the initial spawning is not great. I feel like we need an initial spawn set up. But I don't have enough brains left for the night. But I want it to be that when the cart spawner initializes, it preloads the track so that from the moment you start, everything's ready to go. What could make this interesting? This feels like there's not enough going on. And I don't know what to do with that. I want it to be more dense. But I never want it to be impossible. Middle cart spawner, divide by 2. Does that help if the middle is like going a lot more insanely dense? That does add a bit of a challenge, huh? Okay, okay. It still doesn't feel long enough. Maybe that's all right. I think we can make it better. I think we can go further than that. These carts, let's get these carts going. All of these push back. Yeah, let's really enjoy this for a bit. Let's really enjoy it for a bit. Now we're talking. Maybe if we occasionally, like, break up this room a bit. Maybe have some little scaffolding bits that you can't go through halfway through, and there's like a little bit of a side path that you have to deal with. Maybe even a side path that requires you to go over the carts, using them as platforms. And that's tricky, because they're moving. Oh, I went so far that I'm outside of the original range of the thing. Actually, yeah, that one kind of works better. Okay, you know what, yeah, alright, let's put that on the to-do list. For the long cart room, halfway, roadblock requires doubling back over the tracks, jumping across to next section. I think it's fun. I think it has the bones of an interesting little room. It's memorable. It's certainly memorable. Let's go raid. Raid out. But to whom? Let's see if there's any game dev channels to raid. Go ahead and pull up this one, since this is the one we're proud of. This is the room we like. Let's see. Who is online? Yeah, so apparently Streamiversary coming up. I gotta see if I can do one of those like discount things. I always see those in the sidebar, and I don't bother because I don't do subs, but yeah, we'll see about doing something with that. Maybe that's valuable to people that actually are going to be resubscribing. I don't actually know. I mean, you're never gonna just see interesting stuff on Game Dev, are you? Just browsing the channels, because it's all, it's usually just gonna be looking at pictures of code. I'll know it when I see it. If I ever see a channel that I instantly need to go check out, we'll see. Let's see. Isherwood's on doing Mario World. That's a possibility. What's he playing? Mr. Coffee's doing some kind of Minecraft mod, it looks like. What is Ish playing? I need to crank up the quality to legendary. Super Mario Maker's Holiday Extravaganza. Oh, we saw Dove doing this one, right? Maybe Dooku. Maybe both. Probably Dove. Let's go right over there. Everybody, thank you for hanging out. We will be back Friday for more Game Dev. In the mines. We long for the mines. It's gonna be good stuff. Yeah. So look forward to that. I'll work some more on this on the Subway Surfers room. There they go. They're just squeaking by. Maybe they need a little bit more wiggle as they travel. All right. Everybody get some rest. Good night. Good night. See you next time.